Good morning, Warriors. It's a great day for tennis here at the University of South Florida. Department of Defense Warrior Games tennis event is about to kick off. My name is Paul Walker. I am the sports manager for the tennis event today. I'm going to keep it short. All the athletes should have reported to their pools and their locations with their coaches and their teams. It's going to be a great day of tennis. It's hot, but we're going to love it. We're going to play some great tennis, and we're going to crown a champion at the end of the day. For the first time at the Warrior Games, we will have a wheelchair tennis champion. So it's an exciting day. Want to hear a big applause for all those that have come to support us today, all the family and friends, but most importantly, the Warriors. I'm going to turn it over to my dear friend, Karen Korb, who's going to be your on-court and greeter, MC, commentator for the event today. She is wonderful. She's a two-time Paralympian, and she is magnificent. Karen, it's yours for the remainder. But Warriors, have a great day today. Good luck to all the participants.
Right on, Paul Walker. Coach Paul Walker, big round of applause for Paul Walker, director of this tennis event. Welcome everyone to 2019 Department of Defense Warrior Games. I'm going to be doing some on-court commentating with you all, with my dear friend and colleague, Jason Hornet, who is the national manager and head coach of Team USA at the United States Tennis Association. Big round of applause for Jason Hornet. And most importantly, all of our Warriors today, stay hydrated, come ask us questions. We'll be giving you play-by-plays, and good luck, everyone, today. Woo! First up on court 7, which is also center court, is Team Navy and Team Australia. Representing Team Navy today is Chief Petty Officer Second Class Mario Ingram. Currently out of Jacksonville, Florida, from Aliceville, Alabama, Roll Tide. He's participating in wheelchair rugby, basketball, powerlifting, rowing, and sitting volleyball. And today in tennis, his teammate, Senior Chief Petty Officer William Longworth, out of Paulsville, Washington, hometown Auburn, California, participating in shooting, archery, field cycling, tennis, and wheelchair basketball. Big round of applause for Team Navy. We got Team Australia, Private Ryan Roberts, Army, and the illustrious Flight Lieutenant Amanda Scott with the Royal Australian Air Force. Welcome, big round of applause, and good luck. Jason Hornet.
Karen Korb.
Can you give us a little history of the sport of tennis?
Wheelchair tennis specifically, I will, because that's what I know. Just so you guys know, wheelchair tennis started back in the late 70s. An individual by the name of Brad Parks, a legend in our sport, International Tennis Hall of Famer, started the sport after he had an injury skiing in Utah. He was 19 years old, and they formed this sport, and they added one adaptive piece, and that was 2 bounces. Didn't change the court size, rackets, anything. Didn't really have much to work with chair-wise, but they found that minimal adaptation would be best. And since then, we have formed an entire international tour, managed by the International Tennis Federation, managed here in the United States by the United States Tennis Association, where I work. And it's a full-blown tour, all 4 Grand Slams, Paralympic Games. Brad would never dream that it would become what it's become, so we're really happy about that.
I would have never dreamed. Now I know, Jason, you just came back from World Team Cup. How did Team USA do?
Team USA did pretty well. We were in Tel Aviv, Israel for about a week. That's essentially our Fed Cup Davis Cup for For you tennis junkies out there, the major international competition teams, we finished with 3 teams representing men, women, and quad. The quad team finished 5th place, women finished 6th place, and men finished 8th place.
Jason, for our audience members who don't know technically what a quad is, can you give a little highlight on that?
Sure. So I think most people hear quad and think quadriplegic. Tennis player, but it's really a sport classification that the International Tennis Federation is designed for upper impairment. So if there's an upper body impairment, you're basically classified into the division. And now, as of this year, that division is included in all 4 Grand Slam events. For you non-tennis folks, that's the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open. So now wheelchair tennis is represented in all divisions in all 4 Grand Slams. So a major accomplishment.
That's a major accomplishment, and I can remember the Warrior Games that did not include tennis. And I recall last year we had a big exhibition and a clinic at Fort Carson. Really grateful for Scott Danberg's elevation of the sport. And look at what's happening this year. It's the first time, the very first time, wheelchair tennis is included at the Warrior Games. That has been years in the making. So we're deeply grateful for all the people who are involved in this undertaking. And I think it's time. Yeah? Every team ready? Team ready?
All right.
Go time.
Good luck to everybody. Compete hard. Dep.
That's the confirmed issue.
Is it him or one down?
Ball coming.
Jason.
You should try to go first for one.
Tell us what the play is today.
Today, this is going to be a fast forward format. First 4. No way of scoring. Just need to get the use overall. Play one by side. Turn the teams inside. Who's going to turn? Just straightforward. And as we get the order on sides, finals will go 1 set 1 with no answer.
So I said maybe you want to toss elected to serve. Look what you did. Jason, what would you say is the most important detail or the top 3 details of wheelchair tennis from your professional capacity?
I would say the number 1 to make sure that you continue to push and put back to get your chair first. And you just square up like you would on the feet. Pushing. Number 2, make sure you have something communicative. Make sure you're talking to your partner. Make sure you're communication with your partner. Thirdly, let's say,
For those of you who don't know, tennis is a very quiet sport. So I have no idea why I chose it because I'm not a really quiet person. Australia serving. Second serve. Great serve.
Good effort.
All branches covered, got international players in. It's pretty incredible. Just wish we had a little more shade, Karen.
Yes, I agree with you.
Part of it, though, that's part of the challenge.
I can recall playing at the Australian Open, and it was literally 104 degrees on the court. And we still had to play. I remember winning that match, so that was a really solid win. Get up there, and excellent. There we go. Another thing that I think we forget about often when we're pushing, because we're concentrating on pushing the chair to wherever that ball is the low to high factor of swinging the racket.
That's right. I think for most of us who played on our feet. Oh. Like you were saying, I would say the low to high aspect, you're playing in a chair. You know, you're already sitting in a lower point to begin with, so that lift is so important. And it's easily forgotten. You tend to want to flat balls out, hit it a little bit harder, but the reality is the net.
Right.
Enemy number one, you got to clear the net.
Well, I just noticed our Australian player is a left-handed player. You know, I remember a time when I couldn't remember. Like, I look across and I'm like, why am I losing this match? Because I didn't realize the player was left-handed. So what happens with the ball is very different than if you're playing the right-handed player, obviously.
I think majority of the players are right-handed, just the way it is. So when you play lefty, it's a little bit...
Aren't you lefty?
I'm a righty.
You're a righty and deadly with your right-handed play. How long have you been playing, Jason?
Playing, I hate to say how long I've been playing. 41 years, which is a long time.
I was thinking you were 25. How about
I think, Karen. Not a big guy.
And here we have Team Australia, Team Navy on center court. We've got Private Ryan Roberts serving. His doubles partner, Flight Lieutenant Amanda Scott. Good effort. That's a double fault. We're switching sides.
So to make a switch on the even games, the two games, as opposed to the odd, which is the traditional way. Tennis, which on the odd game, but because the format is so short, each round has essentially just one change of events.
Check. So we got Team Navy on this side. First switch. Team Navy again, Chief Petty Officer Second Class Mary Ingram, and Senior Chief Petty Officer William Longworth. I sit on the sidelines and I often just want to say, push your chair, push your chair.
Coaching from our position, you're going to be careful.
I know.
You're right. You see it, you want to say it.
This is a general announcement. Push your chair after you hit the ball. For everyone. Ball was called long. Second serve. Just a little bit back.
It's tough in this format. I don't know why. It's quick, and so you feel the pressure having to get it all in quick. Third game here.
We are Team Navy serving. Let's talk about that serve for a moment. I recall being coached by you many years about my serve.
It's the most technical thing you do, Karen.
Tell us why that's so tough. Is it just because you're at a lower point of contact? Is it the chair moving? I mean, what is it that makes it so difficult? Not just for people with disabilities, but the people who don't have disabilities. It seems that the serve is always that game changer. It involves a lot of stress, especially when you miss the first serve, like desperate to get it in the box.
You get two cracks at it. But technically, when you look at tennis is a very technical sport. You know, how you hold the racket, how you swing the racket, a lot of physics, a lot of geometry, all that working together. And serving is just the most technical. So we've always found if you can learn how to throw a ball correctly, you typically can serve decently. But you also have that element of having to toss a ball into a certain location so you can strike it consistently. And that tends to be the real challenge. You know, getting the racket facing the right place consistently and repeatedly is the challenge. Hitting forehands and backhands, a little more simple. That's more chair mobility.
Well, as a coach, as the national coach, what would be your advice on how to practice that serve?
Well, if we have beginning level players who are struggling to learn how to actually swing a racket, we take the racket out of their hands to start, and we really teach players how to throw correctly, how to hold the ball correctly.
Throwing as a toss, the infamous toss.
Baseball type throw, even football, having calm down, back, and that would be the same with your racket. And then, you know, as you go through the actual motion and you supplant the ball with the racket, and you use the same exact motion, it's learned fairly quickly. Then it takes time is the toss. The toss is really critical that you get that right spot each time. So, like we always say, you have a really good swing, but if your toss varies, it's not going to be very consistent. But if you can combine a good swing and a good consistent toss, you can get a lot of serves in play.
So your advice would be practice makes perfect.
Lots of practice. Yeah. Anytime you guys take a lesson, you're going to notice your teaching pro is a large basket of a couple hundred balls. There's a reason for that. You're going to hit a lot of balls.
Great serve, great return. See, you can tell just how critical moving your chair is. Chair skills are imperative in wheelchair tennis because they stimulate your feet. If you can't get to the ball, you're not going to hit the ball.
That's right. I think the hard aspect is hitting and immediately getting your hands back on the wheels immediately. And recognizing wheelchair tennis, the swings are maybe going to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, and safe if you're standing on your feet. So if you were playing able-bodied tennis on your legs and you've got full swings and you're not used to having to focus on your hands being part of your movement, shot right there. That's the challenge, right? Is learning how to get your hands on the wheels and move immediately after a hit. It's tough.
So there was a shot just made, and it was a little bit long. However, the ball almost hit him. Tell us what happens if the ball hits a player on the fly.
Yeah, if a ball hits you in the air, whether you're on your feet playing or in a chair, the chair is considered part of your body. So if it deflects off a wheel or one caster in front of one of the smaller rollerblade type wheels on the chair, or any part of it, you actually lose the point. So it's in your interest to get out of the way of the ball, especially if you're sitting out of bounds. You know, the ball's going to go out of bounds if you can get out of the way. It hits you, and you're out of bounds, you still lose the points. So don't want to get hit by the ball.
So frustrating.
Yeah, can't
I've been hit by plenty, that's for sure.
You can't make a lateral move. You can't step out of the way.
Right.
So you got to do your best to try and maneuver the chair or your body, get out of the way.
Right. I'm watching some really good chair skills out here. Big congratulations to all the coaches of the teams. Tennis is not an easy sport. It takes years of learning technical skills and just the mental game of tennis. Can you talk to that? I know that Team USA has a sports psychologist that works with the team.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have a full team of sports psychologists we have access to now. It's new for our wheelchair program at the USDA, but it's funny how even on the able-bodied side, the mental skills professionals we have are probably the most underutilized resource that we have, and it's probably the most important aspect of playing a sport like tennis is that mental side, and it's just it's a difficult side to work on, and I think sometimes the physical part is the easiest part, so we all focus on that, but we realize as we get better at the sport that everybody's good, and you have to learn how to maybe think for yourself, problem solve, and then that takes practice.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand with your personal development. I know that in my own career, I accelerated when I learned how to breathe appropriately and to visualize the points. And you're absolutely right. We tend to focus on the physicality. So often we're in the best shape of our lives, and then you check out of your head and cannot hit that second serve appropriately.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it comes down to rituals. Making sure that you're comfortable with your process. And for us as tennis players, that means between points, right before you serve a ball. You notice a lot of players maybe not out here as much because they're maybe not as seasoned as, say, an elite level athlete. But if you watch elite level athletes in any sport, they'll have a ritual. Basketball players bounce the ball 2 or 3 times before they shoot a free throw. Servers will bounce the ball 2 or 3 times, catch the ball, and begin their routine or their swing. So routine is a big part of what we do here. So it's our first match. First match here.
Oh, right on.
I think Team A took that one. Here on center court. Court 7.
Okay, round 2 is ready to begin. Team Army, Team Australia on center court right now. Good luck, players.
I thought I felt a little breeze there, Karen. Am I wrong?
I don't know, maybe it was just on your northeasterly side, and you're blocking it from me, so thanks, Jason. Oh, no, I think you're right. There's a leaf moving.
little bit as, we get to a deuce point, which is where essentially each team has 3 points. And then it's a deciding point that the returner gets to decide, which returning team gets to decide who's going to return it for that 1 point that decides the game. So as you can see, the game starts off pretty mildly, and then as the score progresses, the intensity ratchets up every single game. So that's one of the benefits. It's kind of fun, especially as people watching.
I think it's also interesting, we use the word intensity, and so that's where that mental game of tennis comes into play.
Yeah, being once you serve and the ball's in play. Once the ball's in, you're allowed 2 bounces, if you remember. The intensity's got to be high until that ball bounces 3 times, or is in the net, or missed wide or long. You got to keep your intensity up, and that usually shows in your pushing. If you're pushing hard, you're usually engaged and bringing that intensity.
So very similarly to what Sergeant Coleman Claude said on the Army team, is you got to stay really present and not worry about the shot that came before or the shot that's coming after. You just need to focus on the shot that's coming right in this moment.
That's right. It's all momentary. Exactly right.
I think tennis is in life. I mean, that's really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, we always say tennis is great. It's got the same template as life. Right? Problem solve quickly, think on the fly. And doubles, as you're seeing here, 4 players on the court. A little bit different than singles where you're by yourself and thinking on your own. Doubles, you've got a partner to help you, partner to help you emotionally, to calm down, or to fire up. And that's the fun part of doubles, social side.
Kind of the analogy is kind of like right now. Like you're commentating doubles.
Exactly right. You lead me with a question, and I go with it.
That's right. It's like our doubles commentating. But I find that a little bit easier here in the shade because I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine.
Florida, and even though we're closer to the coast, this time of year starts to heat up. So saw the track and field athletes yesterday taking it in.
And what I'm fascinated with, Jason, is that these warriors are playing multiple sports. It's not just about wheelchair tennis. I mean, most of our players are playing 4 to 5 sports. Wheelchair basketball, although indoors, but you have track and field, it's scorching hot, swimming, powerlifting, and a whole host of other sports. So the focus and mentality changes around each of the sports.
And I'll be honest, we in the sporting industry are really big on multi-sporting for various reasons, especially with young people, is the athletic ability that you take from each and every one of these sports, all transcend and come together to make better athletes. So if you're a tennis player that runs track, plays basketball, you're going to take a lot of that athletic ability and bring it here to tennis and vice versa as well.
Ooh, I see over here on court. We've got Air Force and Army playing. The crowd's a little loud over there, I see. What's going on? No idea.
That's what's going on down between Air Force. I don't know what's going on. Navy guys are sitting in the back here, awfully quiet right now.
They're lurking. I think they're scouting.
They're scouting, taking notes.
Look at them. Quietly in the back row over there. We see you. So the Air Force team is being coached by Harlan Matthews out of McDonough, Georgia. There's some really good chair skills happening out there, Jason.
Yeah, good Navy team down there on court 10. Showing some really good chair skills.
Yeah, I see that.
These are things we notice, Karen, as coaches.
Yeah.
We notice.
Look at that. Serve. It's interesting to me, I watched the serve and then the pushing in to return the ball, really important because that creates the movement of the chair. So what we know is that when the chair is in motion, it stays in motion.
That is the theory. That is theory. We always, in wheelchair tennis, for those of you who have not seen it very much, the return of server tends to have a little bit of an advantage because the server, when they're hitting, is typically sitting still. and the returner is able to actually begin their pushing into the hit itself. And so they kind of have a leg up, so to speak, in that they have that mobility pattern already beginning where the server has to come out of a sitting position. So definitely advantage to the returners.
So in your history of coaching, Jason, have you seen servers push into the ball to serve at times?
Yep, they're allowed to take one push into a serve. Some players like that. It does make the toss a little bit more challenging because you've got to get that toss kind of, you're kind of leading yourself with toss into the court because you're moving forward. But most players tend to stay still, stationary, so they get as good a hit as they can. And then get their hands down on the wheels and get ready to push.
So we've got our first changeover here. No, it's actually our second changeover, so we're nearing the end of Team Army and Team Australia. Good stuff. I'm so impressed with our teams who have just begun playing wheelchair tennis. Again, it is no easy task.
No. It's difficult, and this is, to be honest, to see everybody out here playing in the first Warrior Games, having wheelchair tennis as a part of it is just amazing. Because we've been hoping for this for so long.
Wow, I just saw a really amazing shot right down the middle. I mean, that's the great strategy, Team Air Force. When in doubt, hit down the middle, right, Jason?
Work the middle, solve the riddle.
Yeah, work the middle, solve the riddle. Whoa. That serve, I see it was called out. Good stuff. That's a good ball right there. I tend to struggle with those hot balls. Ooh, thanks. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I mean, can you speak to the, often I'll receive a ball that's like a topspin lob. And a lot of people don't think that's a very effective shot, but can you talk about that topspin lob?
Yeah, you can see out here in height. Can serve you well, maybe with a hit, like a serve. But when you get into a rally, higher balls tend to be very effective in wheelchair tennis simply because you can't jump.
Right.
You can't deal with above your shoulders that well. So typically what we coach players do is to make, you have one or two decisions to make. You can either move backwards and try and create a little bit more space between you and the ball, and that buys you some time and also allows that ball to come down to a lower point, or you can take a more aggressive track and actually push forward and try and catch before it reaches that high point.
So take it out of there,
possibly, or take it early, take it off one bounce versus that second bounce. So those are all tactics to that. I saw last sitting around over by that chair over there, but it might not be the last someone might have picked it up. Yeah, it seems almost obvious that a high ball out here would be pretty effective, and it also buys you time.
So that's a secret way of coaching, right? Like, did you just hit the ball high to the sky? That would be a great tactic, yes? For anyone who's listening on the board right now.
That. You might be onto something.
Team Army, that was a great return right down the line, which forced the error. Very impressed. Playing 48 hours, and I think it was 6 days of practice.
Got a lot of newbies out here. But hopefully we wheelchair players for life now. I mean, we all love it.
I think it's really important.
Tennis in general is such a wonderful sport for all of us. It's so easy to play with everybody, and you don't have to be really good.
This is the point right here, Jason. You watch it. Oh, that was tough. That was a great rally. That was a really good point right there. Yeah, I think it's really, really important. This is a sport that can be played standing up, sitting down with your family members, your children, your partners, your husbands, your wives, boyfriends, girlfriends. It is an all-inclusive sport. I think the United States Tennis Association does a really good job at emphasizing different formats that are inclusive. I know that one of our formats are run-roll, also known as up-down, where one of the players stands and one of the players is in a chair. The wheelchair playing tennis, and it's a similar format, and you play against similar teams. So it really creates a powerful vibe and camaraderie with your teammates, because you can have varying skills, especially in a doubles format, where someone may have a better serve and your partner may have a better forehand or backhand.
That's right. I think the USTA has done a really nice job as far as the inclusivity to, whether you're playing a USTA league or a USTA adult tournament. There's that.
Nice job. Yeah, Cole, did you just, no, shh, pay attention. Don't answer Karen. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Hit the ball, and then hit the opponent right out of the air, and then sadly you lose the point.
You do.
It's a great serve, great return.
Is that high ball?
This is a point. This is a point happening, people. Nice job. That was a great point. Team Army, Team Australia.
But again, to finish the thought on inclusivity, it just allows everybody to play with everybody, whether you're in a USTA league or USTA tournament or non-tournament, or like you said, the ability to engage with able-bodied people and your family and friends, and very few other adaptive sports allow that really, to get a wheelchair basketball game. No offense to our basketball friends, but it's not easy to get a game of even 3-on-3 of wheelchair. Where do you get basketball chairs? I mean, you just can't do it easily. And so tennis just allows that to happen. And again, that was the brilliance of the simplicity of the rules. 2 bounces, only adaptation.
What's really powerful I see today is that we have umpires on the court. So thank you to our ladies and gentlemen in blue. They're very serious. They won't even acknowledge. I mean, that's what umpires do, yeah?
They're dialed in. When we talk about intensity and being focused, the officials are always that way. It's a tough job being an official, Karen. Tough job.
Yes, I fought with a few myself in my career. How about yourself?
I try to be amicable, but sometimes, when they clearly made a mistake, I was always there calling them out. Clearly a mistake.
I think it's, speaking about mistakes, I think it's hard sometimes to call lines when you're sitting so low accurately. Because someone sitting on the outside of the court, like an umpire, referee, they can see a bit more clearly, or we would trust that they can see clearly about what those line calls are.
Typically, the officials are standing up, so they're coming, their eyesight coming from different chair very much. Your line calling may change a little bit from when you're standing on your feet, make it a little tighter. Again, everybody's sitting down, so we're all singing it the same way.
You are also a ball person today, Jason. Thank you so much. So in your capacity here, are you volunteer coordinator on this tennis venue? I know you graciously agreed to commentate with me this morning.
Yeah, that's part of what we do.
Yeah, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. And
Experience.
thank you to the Tennis Association signage.
Yeah. I think this is a big part of what we do at USTA. Is what I do.
Yeah, thinking about the sign, I'm hoping that everybody kind of signs the draw sheets.
We will make sure the athletes sign the beautiful draw banners that we brought.
Yeah.
I think
We'll make an announcement a little later.
I think we'll make sure everybody does that before we go.
That's great. All right. Team Army serving right in the box. That's how you do it. Move your chair. Oh! The dribbler! The dribbler point. We like it. Yeah, that's Jersey style. You know that, right? Come on. take that point or whatever it comes. I'm sorry, Team Australia, that was not fair. You deserve a dribbling point too. Let's make that happen. You know, that's interesting. When a point like that happens, and we call it a dribble, literally just literally low over the net, and your opponent cannot reach the point. I mean, as the person who receives that can really mentally take you out of your game.
Yeah, it always depends when it happens, right? If it happens at a critical moment in a match, it's pretty demoralizing. But, you know, like anything goes back to mental skills, right? Being able to let that go, stay, dwell on that, and it's out of your control. But of course, when you do it to someone else, you put your hand up and apologize. Even though you don't mean it, take the point anyway. But yeah, it's sportsmanship thing. Give them a little hands up.
This is a great point. Very nice. It's a beautiful backhand. Oh, there's the high ball.
That's it.
Yeah, we saw it. That vicious high ball. I mean, you just want to jump out of your chair and hit it.
Yeah, so the decision has to be made quickly. You can see that. You either charge or you get back. It's a great challenge.
It's a difficult ball to discern. I find that for me, that's the most difficult ball. Or the ball that's hit directly towards you. Because then you have that rampart emergency shot that's defensive.
Yeah.
But that top spin high ball is a very offensively offensive shot. Would you agree?
I would say typically, if you look at the size of the court from the far right line to the other far right line, the baseline, typically by the time a ball reaches the net from the one side, you have a really good idea as far as the speed of the ball, height of the ball, where it's going to land in the court. And so you have enough time to make an adjustment at that point. But if you wait till the ball gets to your side of the court, to make the decision what you're going to do, typically by that time, that's too late. And so you start to learn, the better you get at the sport, you start to pick up on things sooner, which then, of course, you're going to be in position more often. So that just comes with experience. So for some of these guys who've only been playing a couple days or less than a week, picking up on all those things is very tough.
Yeah, good effort.
There's the body shot. That's a tough one.
There it is.
Again, I think when an able-bodied player ball comes directly at you, like you were saying, it's a tough ball to discern. You have the ability to step out of the way. You have the ability to take one step to your left or right, have some room to swing. Wheelchair
in a lateral way.
Wheelchair tennis just don't have that, so you've got to learn how to manipulate the chair and get your body out of the way so you can make it swing.
I recall back in the day, Stephen Welch was part of our US men's team, Team USA.
That's right.
Yeah, he had a very unique way. He had a chair. Also, as you notice, the wheels are cambered, which means they're slanted, which gives you a better turning radius, a quicker turning radius. The chairs are built that way to emulate your hips and how they turn. And you have sometimes one back wheel and sometimes two back wheels. And so Stephen Welch didn't have any back wheels. And he would receive a body shot. He would literally wheel out of the way backwards and hit the most amazing winning shot. And sometimes as the opponent, you're so mesmerized with someone else's chair skills that you miss the entire return.
Yeah. Stevie was pretty intimidating with his athleticism, a great basketball player as well. But like all disabled sport, function drives a lot of it. So if you're there's the end of the match there.
How about that? Yeah. Second round, Army, Australia. Big round of applause from our adoring fans. We don't hear you. Team Army, Team Australia.
But as I was saying, function drives a huge part of it. So you can see a bunch of different disabilities out here. So if you're a spinal cord injury facing someone, either an amputee or a non-spinal cord injury, it's a huge challenge athletically just from a function standpoint. And for someone like Steve Welch, who we were talking about, was functioning pretty much at the highest level, his chair skills are going to be outrageous. And his ability to do that without an anti-tip bar is incredible and intimidating. So we see a little bit of that out here, a little bit of that.
Lovingly refer to our umpire as Big Blue. Big Blue.
Big Blue. Tell us your name.
Debbie Flint.
Debbie Flint. Where are you based out of?
Bradenton, Florida.
Bradenton, Florida, a beautiful place, not very far away from here.
Great.
Yes, great beaches. You've got a very walkable community, or what I like to lovingly refer to as a movable community. So what brings you here today?
Well, closer. We love tennis and officiating, and they asked us to come and said, sure.
Yes, it's always the quintessential yes answer, and
Yes.
we really appreciate you being here because it, as we know, tennis is such a brisk sport. Is this your first Warrior Games?
It is, yes.
Ah, well, congratulations on being in the inaugural tennis event. That's wonderful. Who did you bring with you today? I mean, I know they're all over the place, but
There's 5 of us. My husband is an official.
all right.
There's 3 other from the Tampa area.
So USTA Florida section.
Yes.
Big shout out to you all for
Thank you.
bringing us your time and your efforts. I mean, we know we were just talking about it, Jason and I, that being an umpire. Well, we really appreciate you, Debbie, and your husband and the entire team of USTA officials that have come out today. Thank you so
you.
very, very much. And we look forward to seeing you the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. All right, we're going to go see what's going on over here.
Yeah, we got one more match on the end cleaning up here, Navy and Australia.
We have, what court number is that? Because I know
Court
is it 10?
Court 10.
It's court 10. And we have Army, like who? Let me see, who's out there?
It's Navy and Australia right now.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Navy and Australia finishing up their second round play, heading into the third round. We are trying to catch the shade. Let's see. Oh, let me let you in the shade.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Can you hold this real quick? I need to take a sip. Oh my God. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Ah, we see Team Air Force moseying on over here. How'd that go? Hey. Tell us your name.
Andres Rodriguez.
Ah, Andres Rodriguez. How do you feel you played today?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. You and your teammate, tell us his name.
Brian Williams.
Brian Williams. He's already gone. He's taking a little nap between this match and the next match.
Yeah, he's getting it on.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Tell us what's your best stroke. Forehand, backhand, serve.
Actually, I think the forehand is my best shot.
Yeah. Can you talk to us about how long you've been training for this event?
About 4 months now.
4 months. Excellent job. And I know your coach very well, Coach Harlan Matthews.
Great coach.
Yeah, great coach. You guys really got the, as Jason says, the leg up.
Yeah.
So
Brian does.
4 months of training, and here you are. Tell us what other sports you're playing.
Volleyball, basketball, rugby. Got done track with yesterday and tennis.
Oh my goodness. How's your body feeling?
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We got great medical staff, so they take care of me. So
Big shout out to the Air Force medical staff if you're around and you can hear.
They're over there busy.
Okay. They're being busy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of injuries that happen here in tennis. One of which is, especially when it's very hot outside, are blisters on your hand. And I've noticed that a lot of players have been playing with gloves on to just not get your fingers in the spokes and not have blisters on your fingers. How are your hands doing?
And they're doing pretty good because all the training and whatnot, you build the calluses. And,
Yeah, nice job. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's very, very smart. So in your mental training, what do? Do you have a routine? Do you have a system? Do you meditate?
I do. I have like 2 favorite songs that I listen to on my way over here. Then I play some games on my phone, and I always keep some mentals on the side.
That's great. You know what? I think that's great advice. You know, just kind of clearing out your head, kind of being distracted from the actual match, and then you can put all your energy into the match itself.
Yeah. And the best thing is, I mean, since I played with wider games last year with Brian, and I told him, I mean, he's one of the best teammates that I ever had. So, you know, just I prepare my mind that I don't want to let him down. So that forced me to push more.
I think that is a really great observation, because as a doubles player, I mean, I love playing doubles. Jason loves playing doubles. You're only as good as your partner. And if your partner's having a good day or a bad day, you got to step into that space.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To Team Air Force. And we look forward to seeing you in the next round.
And the finals.
Okay, in the finals. How about that? That's when the real trash talking is going to start,
yes,
yeah?
Ma'am.
All right, thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate that. Wonderful effort. Training for 4 months for this event. I mean, I think that's a
good
real
event to train for.
Yeah, that's a real testimony to the Warrior Games and creating this opportunity to be participatory in an incredible, inclusive sport. Yeah. I think often we don't understand the importance of having these additional opportunities of adding different sports. So this year we have wheelchair rugby and wheelchair tennis that have been added to the roster. Yeah, no worries. I'm in the doorway.
Yeah, I think adding sports for us, wheelchair tennis, obviously that's our focus, and just being more visual, you know, and in this community where I think I'm not going to say it's been a big miss for us, but I think wheelchair tennis in the military families haven't been a primary focus, and so that shift is happening, and I think having it here at the Warrior Games is huge. As we talked about earlier, we've been to so many camps where tennis is being introduced at the camps, but the thought of it becoming part of the Warrior Games just really wasn't part of the discussion. And so here we are now, and I'm just looking around the perimeter of the courts and looking at the energy and the family members and other parts of their military family that are all here supporting these athletes. It's fantastic. I mean, this would be for us a really successful wheelchair tennis tournament that we would run, looking at just the sheer number of people coming out here, and it's been an amazing start, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Jason. So you have taught many a military camp. Paul Walker, who is the tennis director here, he is retired captain, the Army. Big shout out to Paul Walker wherever you are. Probably sweating. That's what he's doing right now, amongst a lot of other people.
He's a doer.
Yeah, again, what do you think? I know that in my own experience teaching at specific military camps, that one of the reservations is often getting in the wheelchair itself. Because, those of us who coach, we know what that wheelchair means sometimes to people, especially when you've lost some of your physicality. It represents something that is not what people want them to be represented by. And what we want people to know is that we really don't care how you play, on your feet, sitting down, jumping. Come on through. You can come through. They're afraid of the camera. We are not afraid of the camera. But, there's this, of course. Go Army, hey. Like I said, the trash talking is going to start very soon. But I think we don't necessarily care how you play, how you get your feet wet, so to speak, in this amazing sport. However, even in the game of play or outside of these 4 walls or these courts, people have a tendency to have that bias, like that implicit bias about disability. So we've been socially conditioned to believe it's very limiting. And we know that sitting in the chair is really what sets you free. Being locked down in the hospital, that's limiting. But when you're out here amongst your peers and your teammates, this is the way to go. And, again, whether you're sitting or standing, we don't really care how you play, but we just want to see you play the beautiful sport of tennis.
Yeah, I think Paul Walker, who we just mentioned, the tournament director here, is gonna say something about that.
I'm going to shift a little bit and tell all our participants and pool play coordinators that we're getting ready to roll on round 3, which is great. We're on schedule. Everybody's doing so phenomenal job out here, volunteers, pool play coordinators, everybody. So thank you so much. I think we might be on the lookout for Army 2. So Army 2 team, if you're out there somewhere, let's report to your court. We're getting ready to kick off round 3, which will culminate our pool play, and then we'll get our calculations on our pool winners, and then we'll get ready to transition into the quarterfinals. So pool play has been spectacular. We just had an outstanding tiebreaker down there, deciding match between Australia and Navy, and so that's the exciting part of tennis in the tiebreaker scenario. But here we go, round 3. Pool play coordinators, go ahead and kick off round 3, and we'll finish it up and get into our quarterfinals.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for that update. We appreciate you. We are looking for Team Army 2, Navy 1. Army 2 and Navy 1. Oh, look, Navy 1. We're like, wait, ready. Tim Bumpke, where are you? Army 2. Head on over to center court, also known as court number 7. So back to those camps and clinics, Jason.
Yep.
There are, for those participants who are even curious about wanting to play wheelchair tennis or adapted tennis, come on through. There are so many opportunities through the United States Tennis Association and the U.S. Paralympic sport clubs to be participatory, not just in wheelchair tennis, but all of the sports that are represented here today. So you can look on the Paralympic website. We just had an incredible accomplishment. The United States Olympic Committee officially changed their name to be inclusive of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. That has been a long time in coming, and we worked really hard to make that happen. But again, we have Paralympic sport clubs literally located all over the country. And we are looking for participants in all the sports, whether you're a fan of sitting volleyball, swimming, powerlifting, track, field, wheelchair tennis, and any number of the other sports, wheelchair basketball, and the list goes on and on. Please, if you are looking to get active, whether it's in high performance or recreationally, we want to see you moving, playing, because what we do know, the statistics on our health, if you have any type of condition, chronic health condition, impairment, physical limitation, a disability, you are always better off if you are moving. And it really doesn't matter to us how you are moving. We want to see you on the court. We want to see you playing. We want to see you reignited with your family members, your partners, your husbands, your wives, boyfriends, and girlfriends. And so we are looking forward to round number 3. Center court, Navy, Army 2.
So what you're saying, Karen, is there's no excuses. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in the infamous words of Randy Snow, one of the fathers of tennis, incredibly decorated wheelchair tennis player, wheelchair track and field participant. I mean, I have no idea how many gold medals he has. But he said he always talked about no excuses, and he always made jokes about it. And it's sometimes really difficult to be, and you've seen it happen in your coaching career, Jason, that, you're exhausted and there's a heat factor. And, it is the psychology of human beings to look at what is not happening in your world. For example, oh, Coach Jason, it's so windy today. Or, oh, Coach Jason, it is so hot today. Or, oh, Coach Jason, isn't it going to rain today? I can't push my chair. It's too slippery. So we're always thinking about excuses. And our job as good coaches and good human beings is to work on that personal development, just like he was referencing earlier about that mental game of tennis. Can you speak to that as well?
Yeah, I think that's part of our job, is to convince everybody. And that's also to remember it's hot on the other side of the court as well. It's windy on the other side of the court as well. It's maybe a little damp on the other side of the court as well. So everybody has to deal with it. But when we talk about no excuses, I will say that, you and I have been around a long time, and we've seen a lot of growth in adaptive sport in general. And if you go back to the mid-'80s and early '90s, you may not have had the options that you have today. Today, if you want to go mountain biking or you want to go mountain climbing, you want to, again, swimming, track and field, rugby, basketball, there's so many options now. And I know for us on the tennis side of things, our challenge is to get more people playing tennis. And tennis, as these folks here are learning, especially wheelchair tennis, it's difficult. It's a hard sport. And with the other options out there, I think that's maybe taking a chunk out of our participation numbers. But at the same time, we find that tennis is easily the most integrated, like we talked about. And you can play a really, really long time. And that is the great benefit. And as you said, for health purposes, the reality is we need to be moving. And when you stop moving, doesn't matter if you have a disability or not, your overall health is going to be affected. Your mental health is going to be affected. So we're just so happy. I mean, I can't tell you how beautiful this is to see this sport, our sport, being integrated into the Warrior Games.
Yeah, I'm, again, mad props to Scott Danberg for elevating that conversation as of last year. Really appreciate his efforts in that space. And then, the bottom line is the Department of Defense embracing wheelchair tennis and wheelchair rugby as new sports on the roster this year, and that everyone created teams. It is a no-joke sport. It is hard to be enthusiastic about a sport that you may just be beginning because it's incredibly frustrating to miss a ball that is sitting right in front of your face. And and that's what's interesting about tennis.
You're saying we have competitive people here, Karen?
Yeah, just a touch.
I'm feeling that.
I'm a little nervous, actually, for the next few rounds. See what happens.
Oh, it's going to crank up pretty good here.
Yeah, like I said, the trash talking is going to be momentous. But, going back to the public health and our health disparities and a lot of things that happen to us as people with disabilities or those who live this experience is, the outside world is sometimes incredibly difficult to navigate. And that is, especially when you have a layered disability and it's complex and there's, people on the outside do not understand what your conversation is about your own body and what you can and cannot do. And sometimes, mentally there's a little bit of a shutdown, and we call that social isolation, where if you don't have an outlet for your anxiety or your stress or whatever that is, that you're just going to stay home because you just don't want to deal. And what's amazing about sport, specifically tennis, is you don't have to play with anybody. You can go to a public park. You can get a ball machine that will feed you tennis balls. I don't mean feed you with a fork and knife. I'm talking like it just bloop and it comes out to you. You don't have to talk to anybody, and you can just hit that ball all day long if you'd like. And tennis is especially in the public park sector, is very inexpensive. You can show up, or you can just be part of one of the military programs that we mentioned earlier through the U.S. Paralympic military program and the United States Tennis Association's military programs. You can just check their website where those opportunities are and get out there and play.
That's it. More opportunities now than ever, and all the websites and all the access is so easy now, and I think everywhere, if you look everywhere, like you said, the Paralympic sport clubs, they're all across the country. USTA wheelchair programs for us specifically are all over the country, and you can check our website for that, and it's very easy to make contacts and get started. There's no excuse not to get started if this is something you want to do.
So, Jason, are there also opportunities for those who may not want to sit in the wheelchair to play competitively?
Yeah, the USTA, the way it's structured at the USTA, we have league play. So if you're very much a team player and you like to be a part of a team, leagues are available for you nationwide. Individual tournaments are also available. We have a rating system we have called NTRP, which basically helps you self-rate and pick what level you're going to start at, and that may adjust as you become competitive and start playing in leagues and tournaments. You may find that you maybe started at a weaker position or a stronger position than you should have been. So therefore, that system's in place to make sure that your entry point is palatable, because sometimes I think people maybe jump in at a level that's maybe too high. And so I think the system's in place for us to be successful that way. But again, there's no reason why we as people who love tennis, whether you're in a chair or not, have a disability or not, or amputee or not, and want to play on your prosthetic legs, you can. It's all possible, and I think that's the most important point, is everybody can play.
So appreciate your comments, Jason. I mean, how long have you been doing this? 20 years? 30, you said, what, 34 years earlier?
41 years.
41
but working
years.
for the USTA as a contracted coach, national coach for 24 years, and now the head coach for Team USA for the past 3 years. So, yeah, we've been, as you know, Karen, I've spent a couple Paralympic Games with you, and we've seen every part of this sport's growth from beginning to end, and this is one aspect that is needed to be emboldened. And so again, here at the Warrior Games, to have wheelchair tennis be one of the major sports now for the first time. I know Invictus was struggling this past year. I don't know if we say Invictus Games around here, but I think so. It's a wonderful event, and we support that as well. And there was a conversation of not including wheelchair tennis this past year. And we as NGBs all came together.
Tell us what NGB is, for
NGB,
those who don't know.
our national governing body, which the USTA, the United States Tennis Association, is. I had reached out to my Australian compatriots and New Zealand, because at the time Invictus was hosted down in Sydney. We talked to Great Britain. We talked to several other countries about getting together and basically not strong-arming, but trying to bring a little bit of intensity to the leadership of the Invictus program, and they bent. And they ended up agreeing and saying wheelchair tennis belongs, which was amazing, because Invictus was hosted in Toronto, and I think wheelchair tennis specifically, was really a very successful event, but it wasn't a medal event, and I think that was their concern. They wanted to make sure they stayed true to their medal events, but we were able to convince them that wheelchair tennis was there to stay, and here we are in the Warrior Games. So I think wheelchair tennis is becoming entrenched pretty much everywhere.
And, for our audience members that don't know, you have been instrumental in this movement for so long, Jason. And, in this conversation, I also want to give a shout out to your wife, Jennifer, because I do know what your travel schedule is like, just growing this amazing sport. And I also want to give a shout out to all 3 of your fabulous children. I often say, I don't know how anyone with children does it with all of it. Really, you have a wonderful family, and they have been incredibly generous with their time and the schedule, because I do know that you are away a lot doing exactly what we're doing today. So thank you for that, and thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you to my wife, my children. I know some of you guys are like, we all have kids, we all have families, yeah. But again, for those of us who do have children, it is a massive commitment to be on the road. And again, absolutely nothing that I do from a travel perspective can compare to being deployed. I mean, I'm not even close to that. And so to see what these these warriors out here have gone through as far as being away from home and family. I don't compare what I do, though I am on the road promoting our sport at the highest level. I don't compare any of my experience compared to what these folks have been through, and again, what their families have been through, husbands and wives of those who've been deployed. We all know that burden is amazing and difficult. So.
But I do know that the common denominator, all of the warriors that I've spoken to today, that we've spoken to today, there's that undercurrent of camaraderie, respect, not just of the branches, but of the sport itself. Because we know that when you're part of a team, things are just different. You want to win, you want to succeed, you want to execute the mission. And today the mission is getting onto that podium, that gold medal match. I know we've talked to a couple of our participants, and they're just like, well, we'll see you in the gold medal match.
They're focused on that, exactly. Well, tennis is weird that way, right? It's an individual sport, and here we are all together representing either your branch of the military, mostly American, some international flavors. You're representing your country, which is there is no greater honor than that. But as I think Sergeant McLeod said earlier, I mean, gives you a sense of purpose. You come back, you've been injured, you're not physically the same way, mentally the same way as you were, and coming together and representing your branch and your country once again in a very, very friendly environment is so healthy. And I think that's what the athletes are really finding out here. And again, the guys who and the ladies and gentlemen who are doing multiple sports. I mean, what an incredible effort, especially here in Tampa, and the weather and so forth. But yeah, the camaraderie is at a very high level here.
It's impressive. Paul Walker, how are you doing?
Maybe give us a breakdown. Give us a breakdown.
Yeah, give us a little
what
breakdown.
You've seen and
you know,
quality.
Paul, he moseys around, and he's got this clipboard, this booming voice. We appreciate you, Paul Walker.
It's a team effort, that's for sure. It's been a great day. The Warriors, every round I see here, it's better and better.
Yes.
The players are just upping their games on every aspect. Just a little bit more time on court, kind of dialing in on their craft. And so it's really been fun to watch. We had a great tiebreaker down there, as I mentioned earlier. It's kind of coming down to the wire, and we're going to get some people that are going to advance out of these pools and get into our quarterfinals where the rubber's going to meet the road, as they say. And so we're going to have some continued great competition. We know we have some athletes that are going to be leaving to go do some other events that they're scheduled for on the field side. But mostly we're going to continue to focus on this tennis competition, and we're going to get a champion today, Karen and Jason, and that's going to be a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much for your comments and your time, Paul Walker. On over to on that.
Come with me and give them a microphone.
We'll be right back. I got to guard.
So in other words, I think we're looking at those two teams.
So we're going to take a little walk over here. Team Army coach.
Hi.
Tell us your name.
I am Linda Gomez.
And Linda Gomez, what is your role here today?
I am the first inaugural wheelchair tennis coach, and I also coach sitting volleyball for the Army.
Congratulations. Congratulations on that achievement, and congratulations on your team so far. What has been the highlight for you here at the Warrior Games so far in these last few days?
The athletes, really. I mean, their resilience and coming out to learn, and this group, especially with wheelchair tennis, you know, we concentrated on their games. We started off with movement skills and chair skills and how they hold the racket in their hand, and how they work together and communicate. So once we got that down in our first practice, and they realized that they did have the power to move that chair efficiently, we just built from that. So very impressed with them. Love the fact that they're making gains, and that's what I ask them. What have you learned, and what are you going to improve on the next match?
Well, we sure do appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort. We appreciate the team. We appreciate the participation. We are just so grateful for you focusing on growing the sport of tennis.
Well, thank you. Team Army leadership has just been just amazing, being able to allow us to have these 3 teams out here today, and we look forward to growing the sport as well and watching them make maybe even a lifetime sport.
Oh, thank you for that. We really appreciate that. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
So now we're going to mosey on over here to these. I feel like these are, look how I'm lurking over here, these super fans. We've got Team Army and Team Australia. So tell us your name and who are you supporting here today?
My name's Laura, and I'm Team Army all day.
Hey, how about that? Now, are you supporting anyone specifically, husband, wife, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, I'm just here. We're mental coaches for Team Army. We're mental coaches for Team Army. I'm here to support Tim and Tosh and watch them kick some butt in this game.
Excellent. So mental coaching, Jason and I have been having a little conversation kind of weaving into the tapestry of tennis, and how important is mental preparation, not just for tennis, but for all of the sports?
Mental preparation is everything. A lot of these athletes are really talented. It's just a matter of who shows up in the game. And the most important point is always the next point. And so that's what we got to be focused on.
We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And man, obviously Team Australia, tell us your name.
My name is Anne Rutledge.
Anne Rutledge, how are you today?
I'm good.
Tell us what your role is in this whole Gigantor event.
So I'm part of the team staff for Team Australia. I'm from an organisation called Veteran Sport Australia. We're really, really proud to be at our first major event, partnering with the ADF to deliver Team Australia.
Congratulations on your participation. So tell us, you're cheering for Team Australia.
Yeah, the boys here are doing really well. Darren and Webby, we're getting right behind them.
I like how you just said that, Darren and Webby.
It's all about the nicknames in Australia.
Yes, it sure is.
Gosh, there it is!
Ooh, I love this. This is very, very intense.
Yeah, this is a really competitive game, and I'm really excited to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, everyone, you know, that seems to be the game changer. Everybody wants to get to that gold medal round, so to speak. Right on. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And good luck in the rest of the tournament. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
There will be the group around here. I'm sure people will post that. Yeah, and then there's the separate analysis. No, that's. Yeah, they're going to get in the chair. And I think if we can get them a mic, so they can speak on the mic with the scores, then the rest, then I don't have to track just one. I can track all of them. But they can say their scores out loud, at least on center court. Paul. Paulie, when you get a second. My mics are hot. I have to always remember that. Let me painful. It's a good call. That's a great point.
Team Navy playing Team Navy. An excellent rally.
Sorry if I'm blocking. No, no worries. Sport, he's going over to. Okay. Oh God. Hand you this right now, so at least I have less than one right now. They're on. They're both on. It just got serious. It just got serious.
Here on forward, I think I talked to Paul. So why don't we shift our focus to this one? That's because it's
center court and so forth. Focus on the play.
Who we have on that far court? Australia and... They sent me that. He has an excellent service motion. Look. Ready? That one up there. Actually,
all right, it's a good idea. Here's another tool. I should have just put it all in. It's better offense. 30-15.
yeah, and I'll tell you right now.
Switching sides. Serving. Blue serving.
Nice. Nice. Back, back, back. Yeah, Aubrey. Help.
Still with us, John?
15 all. Wait, wait. Ready? Out! Yes! Yep.
Joseph. Not bad. 2.
2.
Yes.
First quarterfinal winners.
Be ready for what? Okay.
And our first quarterfinal winners, Team Air Force. Congratulations, excellent effort. Team Canada, big round of applause.